Right now, someone is reading you like a book they've already finished. They know your next move. You don't. Every reaction you give away for free, they collect. Every pattern you repeat, they use against you tomorrow. You think you're being honest. They think you're being easy. And easy men are always the first to lose. Notice how the same people keep winning around you. It isn't luck, it's that they can see you coming. You answer the moment they call. You forgive before they ask. You explain yourself when no one demanded it. And every time, you hand them the map to your mind. Then you wonder why they always arrive first. This sting you feel right now, that quiet humiliation, that is the price of being predictable. You were taught that being open makes you good. No one told you it also makes you a target. Look at your life. The same arguments, the same people taking, the same door closing in your face. It repeats because you repeat. You are a pattern they have already solved. And solved men get used. They love your predictability. It lets them plan their lives around your weakness. You are scheduled. You are expected. The predictable man is never feared. He is managed, handled, quietly steered toward whatever serves someone else. And the cruelest part, you trained them. You showed them exactly which buttons make you bend every time. You are about to learn what they hoped you never would. How to become impossible to predict, impossible to read, impossible to steer. The kind of man people study and still cannot solve. But first you have to feel how much your openness has already cost you. Sit in it, let it burn. Every time you were transparent, someone took notes. They know your fears, your tells, your breaking point. And while they studied you, you studied no one. That ends in the next 30 minutes. The ones winning against you are not stronger. They are simply less readable than you are. Mystery is leverage, and you have been giving yours away like it was worthless. Think of the last person who hurt you. They could predict you. That is why they dared. Predictability is permission. It tells the world exactly how far they can push before you push back. Usually, never. You feel it in your chest right now. That heat, that is your dignity. Finally waking up, angry. Good. Hold that fire. You will need it. Because what comes next will rebuild you from the bones up. By the end, the version of you that everyone could predict will not exist anymore. They will reach for the old you and grab only smoke. They will plan around a man who no longer answers. This is not about cruelty. It is about ceasing to be the prey in a room full of patient hunters. 500 years ago, one man wrote the manual for exactly this. They tried to bury it. It survived. Stay with me, and you will walk out of this video carrying something they cannot take back. Stop being predictable. Start being the question no one in the room can answer. Let us begin. You are not weak. Let that land. The exhaustion you carry is not proof that something is broken in you. You gave loyalty and got loneliness. You gave honesty and got handled. That math was never your fault. You were handed a rule book written by people who profit when you obey it. Be open. Be available. Be nice. Those rules made you easy to manage. That was the entire point. A predictable population is a controllable one. Think about who taught you to apologize first. Who told you anger was ugly? Who profited from your softness? It was never about virtue. Virtue was the bait. Compliance was the catch. And you bit again and again. The people exploiting you are not geniuses. They simply refuse the rule book you still carry like scripture. They keep their plans hidden. They keep their reactions cold. They keep you guessing, and you keep explaining. Your openness is not a moral failing. It is a tactical weakness installed in you on purpose, by design. And anything installed can be removed. That is the door we are standing in front of right now. Notice the pattern in your pain, the same type of person, the same betrayal wearing a different face. That repetition is not a curse, it is data. It is showing you the exact shape of your exploitable openness. The systems around you reward speed of response, ease of access, and instant forgiveness. All of it costs you. Every time you respond instantly, you confess you have nothing more important than them. They hear it loudly. The people winning understand a secret. Scarcity creates value. and you have made yourself endlessly abundant. You confused being needed with being valued. They are not the same. The needed man is replaced. The valued man is feared. Stop asking what is wrong with you. Start asking who benefits from you staying exactly as you are. Someone benefits from your guilt. Someone benefits from your speed. Someone benefits from you never changing your moves. The world is not arranged for your flourishing. It is arranged for your usefulness to others, quietly, permanently. But here is the turn. The same unpredictability they fear in others, you can build it in yourself. Everything they use to control you becomes useless the moment they can no longer predict your next move. Their leverage was your consistency. Remove the consistency, and the leverage turns to ash in their hands. This is not about becoming cruel. It is about becoming uncatchable. There is a profound difference. Remember it. You do not need to hurt them. You only need to stop volunteering to be hurt by them. That alone changes everything. The man who hands over his patterns hands over his power. You are about to stop handing anything over. Feel the relief in that. You were never the problem. You were simply playing a game whose rules were hidden from you. Now the cloth is off the board. You can see the squares. You can finally see the hands that move you. And once you see the hands, you can move first. You can move differently. You can move where they cannot follow. The grief you feel for the years you lost being readable, honor it. Then let it sharpen into something useful. Because the man who learns this late still becomes dangerous, and dangerous men are no longer anyone's tool. Everything you tolerated was a vote for staying the same. We are about to change your vote completely. The people around you built their comfort on your consistency. Their comfort was never your responsibility. When you become unpredictable, some will call you cold. They are only mourning the access they used to have. Let them mourn. Their disappointment is the sound of a leash breaking. You were never meant to wear one. Understand this fully. The opposite of being used is not being alone. It is being chosen on your own terms. From this moment, your reactions are not free samples. They are rare currency. Spend them like a miser, not a fool. Everything that follows builds on one truth. The man they cannot read is the man they cannot rule. And one man understood this better than any philosopher who came before or after. They feared him for it. He watched princes rise and fall. He learned why some kept power and others lost everything in a single season. What he found was simple and brutal. The predictable ruler was the doomed ruler, always, without exception. He wrote it all down for one ruler. But the lesson was meant for anyone forced to survive among predators. They banned his book. The church condemned it. His name became a curse. That is how you know it works. Because powerful men do not ban ideas that keep you weak. They ban ideas that set you loose. This was loose. You are about to hold what they tried to burn. And once you hold it, you will never put it down. Let me introduce you to the man they could never silence. The one who saw through every mask. Listen closely. His name was Niccolo Machiavelli, a Florentine who served power, watched it betray, and survived to expose it. He was not a tyrant. He was something far more dangerous to the powerful. He was an honest witness. He held high office in Florence. He negotiated with kings. He studied the men who held power and the men who lost it. Then the wheel turned. His side fell. He was arrested. He was tortured. He was cast out of the only world he knew. Broken men disappear. Machiavelli did the opposite. In exile, he picked up a pen and wrote down everything he had learned. He wrote not how men should behave, but how they actually do. That single honesty terrified the entire world. He understood that men are moved by appearances, that most people never see past the surface you choose to show. Here's the one line of his you must carry out of this room. Burn it into memory. He wrote, "Everyone sees what you appear to be. Few experience what you really are." Read that again in your mind. Everyone sees the appearance. Almost no one reaches the truth beneath it. That gap is power. The predictable man closes that gap. He shows everything. He leaves nothing for anyone to wonder about, and so they own him. Machiavelli teaches you to widen that gap on purpose, to control the appearance while guarding the truth like gold. He was condemned for this. Priests called him the devil's secretary. Kings read him in secret and ruled by him in public. They smeared his name so you would never read him. They turned his name into an insult so you would fear the cure. But the men who actually run things never stopped reading him. Power always knows where its real instruction manual is kept. He did not write to make you evil. He wrote to make you awake, to stop you sleepwalking into other people's traps. He believed the gentle and the open were devoured by the cunning and the patient. He had watched it happen too many times, so he offered a different path. Not cruelty for its own sake, but the refusal to be anyone's easy meal. His central insight is the spine of this entire video. A man who can be predicted can be defeated before he even moves. And a man who cannot be predicted forces the world to treat him with care, with caution, with respect he never had to beg for. Machiavelli died with his work scorned. 5 centuries later, his enemies are dust and his book still rules the room. That is the man whose mind you are about to inherit, not a villain, a teacher the comfortable did not want you to meet. Everything from here forward turns his cold observation into a weapon you can hold. 7 lessons, each one a blade. Take each one slowly. Do not just hear it. Decide where in your own life it cuts. That is how knowledge becomes power. Because the difference between you now and you in 30 minutes is not information. It is whether you choose to use it. The systems that fed on you counted on you never finding this. They counted on you staying gentle and gettable forever. Prove them wrong. Let this be the night their easiest target quietly became the one variable they can no longer solve. Machiavelli gave us the diagnosis. Now we give you the cure, one lesson at a time, starting immediately. Do not look away. Do not let your mind drift to comfort. Comfort is exactly what kept you predictable this long. Lesson 1. The first thing they read about you, and the first thing you must take away from them. Begin. Lesson 1. If they can predict you, they do not need to respect you. They simply need to position around you. Your patterns are your prison, the time you wake, the way you cave, the exact words that make you fold. Here is where you will recognize yourself. Someone asks for a favor, and they already know you will say yes. They did not ask hoping, they asked knowing. Your yes was decided long before they opened their mouth. That is the quiet horror of it. You are not making choices. You are confirming forecasts other people already wrote. Why does this happen? Because the human mind craves certainty, and you became the most certain thing in the room. People organize their advantage around the dependable. Your reliability felt like virtue. To them it felt like a free utility. The brain treats a predictable person the way it treats furniture, useful, present. Never something to be impressed by. Predictability kills tension, and without a little tension, there is no respect, no desire, no caution around you at all. The cure begins small. Today, find one place where everyone expects your usual answer, and pause before you give it. Not forever, just long enough to break the rhythm. The pause alone tells them the forecast is no longer guaranteed. Watch what happens in their eyes, the flicker of recalculation, the sudden need to actually pay attention to you again. That flicker is your power returning. You just became a variable again instead of a constant they could ignore. Understand, this is not games for the sake of games. This knowledge is for protection, not destruction. Carry it as a shield. You are not learning to wound the world. You are learning to stop offering your throat to it out of habit. Every animal that survives among predators has one trait in common. It is never exactly where the hunter expects it to be. You will become that, not paranoid, not cold, simply harder to map. And the unmapped man is the unconquered man. Start with your most repeated reaction, the one everyone in your life could bet money on. That one breaks first. Break it once, and you plant a seed of doubt that follows you into every room for years to come. Doubt about you is good. Doubt is the space where respect grows back. People guard themselves around what they cannot fully read. Do not announce the change. Announced change is just a new pattern. Let them discover it slowly, on their own. Let the new you arrive like weather they did not forecast. By the time they feel it, the storm is already here. This first lesson is the foundation. Everything else builds on refusing to be the most certain thing in anyone's plan. If this is already shifting something in you, mark it. Drop this in the comments. I am the pattern that cannot be read. Lesson 2. The moment you announce what you are about to do, you hand your enemy time to prepare a defense. You do it constantly. You tell people your plans, your hopes, your timelines before a single thing is real. Recognize this. You get excited. You tell someone your big idea, and you watch their face quietly decide to block it. Or you warn someone you are about to set a boundary, and they spend that warning building a way around it. Why do you announce? Because saying the plan out loud feels like progress. It feels like courage. It is neither. The mind rewards the announcement with the same satisfaction as the achievement. So you announce, feel done, and never move. And worse, every person you told now has the blueprint. They can copy you, undercut you, or simply wait to watch you fail. Machiavelli's princes never telegraphed the strike. They smiled at the banquet and moved in the silence afterward. Your new rule is simple. Show the result, never the plan. Let the finished thing be the first thing they learn. Starting today, take one plan you are about to share and keep it. Hold it in silence and act on it instead. The discipline of the unspoken plan is the discipline of power. What no one knows, no one can sabotage. Notice how it changes the room when you stop explaining yourself. Your silence becomes a question others cannot stop asking. The man with the unannounced move owns the timing, and whoever owns the timing owns the outcome. This does not mean lie. It means let your actions speak before your mouth does. Results need no announcement. The people who undercut you were only able to because you told them where you were going. Stop drawing them the map. Imagine moving through your life with your true intentions sealed. Imagine the freedom of owing no one a preview. The reason they kept winning is that you kept narrating your strategy to your own opponents. Free of charge. Turn the cards inward. Let them guess. Let them wonder. The wondering is where your advantage finally lives. There is a quiet thrill in this. The thrill of the unseen mover. The one who arrives already finished. Hold this close. The unannounced are never ambushed because no one knows where to lay the trap. Practice it in something small this week. A decision, a purchase, a change. Make it, then let them notice after. Each unannounced move trains them to stop assuming. And the day they stop assuming is the day you become free. From now on, your plans live behind your ribs until they are done. Your mouth speaks only in finished work. If you feel this sharpening you, claim it. Drop this in the comments. I move when they least expect it. Lesson 3. The world reacts to what it sees, not to what is true. So decide carefully what it gets to see. You were taught that hiding anything is dishonest, but showing everything is not honesty. It is surrender. Recognize this. You let everyone see your stress, your doubt, your every wound, and then wondered why they pressed on them. People do not attack what they fear. They attack what they have measured. Your visible cracks were their instructions. Why do you over-reveal? Because being seen feels like being loved. So you confuse exposure with intimacy again and again. But intimacy is earned slowly by few. Exposure is taken quickly by many. Learn the brutal difference between them. Machiavelli understood that men judge by the eyes. The surface you present becomes the truth most people will ever know. This is not about becoming fake. It is about becoming sovereign over your own image instead of leaking it everywhere. Today's practice is precise. When asked how you are, do not unload. Offer something true but composed, and keep the rest. Watch how people lean toward composure. The calm surface reads as strength, and strength is what they instinctively respect. Your inner storms are yours. You can rage, grieve, and doubt, but in private, where no one can weaponize it. The composed exterior is not a lie, it is a gate. And every powerful person decides who passes through their gate. Notice who, in your life, knows everything about you. Then, notice how little power you actually hold with them. Now imagine giving them less. Not coldness, curation. The difference between a closed man and a guarded one. The guarded man still laughs, still connects, still loves. He simply does not lay his whole arsenal on the table. When your surface is calm and your depths are hidden, people invent stories of strength to fill the unknown. That invented strength becomes real because people treat you according to the story they tell about you. Begin auditing your leaks, the complaints, the oversharing, the constant explaining. Each one is a coin you give away. Patch one leak today. Choose one thing you habitually reveal and simply hold it. Feel the strange new weight of having it. Over weeks, the patched man grows heavy with retained power. He no longer arrives at every room already emptied out. Remember, the goal is not to vanish behind a wall. It is to own the door in that wall completely. The man who controls his appearance controls the first move in every encounter. He sets the terms before a word is spoken. You spent years letting others define how you appeared. Tonight you take the brush back into your own hands. Curate the surface. Guard the depths. Let them meet only the version of you that you chose to build. Lesson 4. The predictable man fills every silence. He cannot bear the gap, so he hands it away with words. You know this scene. Someone challenges you and you rush to explain, to justify, to fill the air with reasons. Every word you add lowers your standing. You are negotiating against yourself, and they are simply watching you do it. Why do you feel silence? Because silence feels like rejection. The quiet gap triggers an old fear of disapproval, but silence is not emptiness. To the trained man, silence is a weapon held perfectly still, waiting. When you stop filling the gap, the other person rushes to fill it instead and reveals far more than they meant to. Silence flips the pressure. The one who can sit calmly in the quiet always holds power over the one who cannot. Today's discipline: when you are challenged or baited, pause for 3 full breaths before you answer. Let the silence work. Those 3 breaths feel like an eternity. To them, they read as unshakable control. That gap is pure authority. Silence also protects you from the words you would regret. Most damage you have done came from speaking too soon. The unread man does not react. He receives, he weighs, and only then, if at all, does he respond. Think of the people you respect most. Notice how little they explain themselves. Their restraint is their gravity. Your silence becomes a mirror. People fill it with their own fears, hopes, and guilt, and project them all onto you. Used well, silence is never cruelty. It is simply the refusal to bleed words you do not owe anyone. Practice the unanswered message. Not every prod deserves a reply. Some silences say more than any sentence could. The unanswered message drives the impatient wild. Their need for your reaction is precisely the leverage you are taking back. Silence is also where you think. The constant talker never reflects. The quiet man sees 3 moves ahead while others babble. Reclaim silence as your home, not your enemy. Inside it, you are unreadable, unhurried, and entirely in command. Start tonight. The next time someone expects you to react instantly, simply do not. Let the quiet hang and watch them shift. You will feel the urge to break it. Resist. The urge is the old predictable you begging to be readable again. Each silence you hold is a vote for the new man. Each one carves the blade a little sharper, a little quieter. Soon they will stop testing you with words, because they have learned your silence costs them more than it costs you. Make this one yours. Drop this in the comments. My silencios are peepin'. Lesson 5. The most powerful presence is not constant warmth. It is warmth that comes and goes on your terms. Recognize this pattern. You give someone your full, reliable attention every single time, and slowly they value it less. Constant availability turns gold into background noise. What is always there stops being noticed at all. Why does this happen? The mind only values what it can lose. Guaranteed things feel owned, and owned things feel free. The man who is sometimes present and sometimes gone becomes magnetic. His attention turns into a prize people work to earn. This is not manipulation of others. It is correction of yourself. You overgave until your presence meant nothing. The fix is rhythm. Be generous, then withdraw into your own life. Be warm, then disappear into your own purpose. The withdrawal is not punishment. It is you returning to yourself. Your own life must always be the center of gravity. Today's practice. After you give warmth or help, return fully to your own work without lingering for thanks or reaction. Notice how your value rises the moment you stop hovering for approval. Absence makes your presence mean something again. The people who took you for granted will feel the shift before they understand it. The room changes when you can leave it. This rhythm protects you from resentment too. The overgiver eventually grows bitter. The measured giver stays generous for years. Withdrawal also reveals who truly values you. Those who only wanted your endless service fade. Those who valued you remain. You are not playing cruel games. You are simply no longer subsidizing people who treated your devotion as a public utility. The unpredictable warmth keeps people leaning in. They never quite know when the light will turn toward them, so they stay attentive. Build your own world so rich that stepping into it never feels like a loss. Withdrawal should pull you toward something. A man with nowhere to retreat to is always available, and the always available man is always undervalued. So the practice is double. Build a life worth returning to, then let your presence among others rise and fall like the tide. Tides are never resented, they are respected. No one demands the sea stay forever at high water for their convenience. Become the tide. Reliable in your nature, unpredictable in your timing, present enough to matter, absent enough to be missed. Test it this week. Be wonderfully present once, then withdraw cleanly into your own world without explanation or apology. Watch your standing rise. The rhythm you control becomes the rhythm they live by. That is quiet, lasting power. Claim your rhythm. Drop this in the comments. I owe no one my next move. Lesson 6. When you must act against someone's expectations, never come from where they are watching. You recognize the trap. You confront a problem head-on, the obvious way, and they had your obvious move countered days ago. The direct route is the predictable route, and the predictable route is exactly the one they have fortified against you. Why do you go direct? Because directness feels honest and brave. But bravery without surprise is just a predictable target. Machiavelli's lesson is to study where they are not looking. Every defense has a blind side. Find it and move there. This applies to every conflict in your life. The argument you keep losing the same way. Stop using the door they guard. If you always respond with anger, respond with calm. If you always retreat, hold ground. Break the move they rehearsed for. The unexpected angle does double work. It bypasses their defense, and it shakes their confidence that they understand you at all. Today's practice. Take one recurring conflict and write down your usual response. Then commit to doing the opposite next time. The opposite move does not need to be aggressive. Often the most unexpected angle is grace where they braced for war. Unpredictability is not just chaos. It is the freedom to choose any response instead of the one reflex they installed in you. Every time you choose the unexpected angle, you teach them that you cannot be wargamed, that you are not a solved equation. The man who cannot be wargamed is approached with caution. People negotiate honestly with what they cannot reliably predict. Look at where you keep losing. The pattern of your loss is the pattern of your predictability. Change the angle, change the result. Sometimes the unexpected angle is patience. They expect you to react now, so you simply wait and let their move expire. Sometimes it is speed where they expected hesitation. The point is never the move itself. It is being the move they did not model. Cultivate a small library of responses. The more ways you can answer, the fewer ways anyone can ever pin you down. The predictable man has one tool and uses it for everything. The dangerous man has many and reveals which only at the last moment. Begin building that range now. Each new way you learn to respond is another exit they cannot guard. Remember, the deeper purpose. You are not learning this to dominate the weak. You are learning to stop being prey to the cunning. The angle they never mapped is the angle that sets you free. Stop fighting on the ground they chose for you. Choose your own ground, choose your own timing, Choose your own angle. That is the whole of strategy in 3 choices. Master this, and the people who kept winning will find their old playbook against you has suddenly stopped working entirely. There is a final stage past unpredictability. It is not a tactic you perform. It is a self they can no longer install commands into. To be governable is to have a lever, a reward they can dangle, a fear they can press, a reaction they can summon on command. You know your own levers, the praise that softens you, the slight that enrages you. Every one of them is a door left unlocked. The ungovernable man does not pretend he has no buttons. He simply moves them where no one else can reach. Think of how they manage you now. They know exactly which words make you defend yourself, which silences make you panic and fill them. They have a file on you, not on paper, in their instincts. And every reliable reaction you give them updates it in their favor. Here is why it works. You were taught that consistency is virtue. That being the same for everyone, always, makes you trustworthy and good. But they never told you the cost. Total consistency makes you totally predictable. And total predictability hands the remote control to everyone but you. The psychology is simple. Humans relax around what they can forecast. They invest effort only in what they cannot yet control. When you become ungovernable, you do not become cruel. You become expensive. You cost too much to manipulate, so they stop trying and start respecting. Start here today. The next time someone pulls your most reliable lever, feel the pull, and deliberately do not move the way you always do. That single-held breath is the birth of sovereignty. In that gap between trigger and response, you reclaim the territory of yourself. Build it daily. Each chosen response, instead of an automatic one, is a brick in a wall they can no longer climb over. Watch what happens to the people who relied on managing you. They will test the old levers, confused, pressing harder as nothing answers. Some will leave. Let them. A relationship that only functioned while you were controllable was never a bond. It was a leash. And some will stay, but differently. They will speak to you with a new care, because they finally sense you are not theirs to move. This is the throne nobody hands you. You build it quietly, one ungoverned choice at a time, until sitting on it feels like breathing. Understand the weight of this clearly. To be ungovernable is not to be alone. It is to be unowned while still choosing who comes close. You decide who is granted access. You decide what earns your reaction. The gate is yours, and the key never leaves your hand. This is the summit of everything you have learned. Not unreadable for sport, not unpredictable for cruelty. Unowned, so that you are finally free. The people who kept winning relied on one thing above all, that you would stay exactly who they had already figured out. Take that one thing away from them and watch how quickly their winning streak against you quietly comes to its end. You will not announce this transformation. You will simply stop being available for control and let them feel the change without explanation. You are no longer a piece on their board. You are a player who owns himself. Drop this in the comments. I am ungovernable. Stop. Feel what is happening inside you right now. Something old is cracking, and something colder and freer is rising in its place. The man who walked in here readable, manageable, easy to predict. He does not walk out. He cannot. There is no room left for him. Say it to yourself in the dark where no one can hear. The old you is dead. The one who flinched on schedule is gone forever. Do not mourn him. He was built by people who needed him weak. Every soft, foreseeable thing about him was installed for someone else's convenience. What rises now answers to no installer. It moves on timing no one set. It reacts on no schedule anyone wrote. It is yours. Feel the fear that comes with this. Freedom is heavier than obedience. When no one controls you, no one is responsible for you but you. Take the weight. It is the price of the throne. The predictable carry a lighter burden and pay with their entire lives for it. Now understand exactly what you have become. You are not a victim learning to cope. You are not a follower hoping to be chosen. You are a weapon pointed at your own future. Every lesson sharpened you. Every old old reflex you killed honed the edge, keener. Aim carefully. A weapon this sharp can carve a destiny or waste itself on revenge. You did not become unpredictable to settle small scores. Let them keep their small victories from before. You are no longer playing the game where those counted for anything at all. Hear this, and let it settle into your bones. You belong to no one. Not to the ones who shaped you, not to the ones who used you, not to the version of you they prefer, not to the role they assigned. You belong to the man you are building, and to him alone. This is the moment they feared you would reach. The moment their predictions stop working, and their leverage turns to dust in their hands. They will call you cold. They will call you changed. They will call you difficult. Translate it correctly. They mean you are no longer easy to use. Wear every one of those words like a medal. Each accusation is proof the conditioning is breaking, and the sovereign in you is winning. Picture the next encounter. The person who always read you opens their mouth, certain of your answer, and meets a silence they cannot decode. In that silence, the power moves. You can feel it crossing the room towards you, like heat finding the colder, stronger body. This is no longer theory you are watching. This is the new physics of every room you will ever enter from this night forward. Everything you feared made you weak. Your depth, your restraint, your refusal to perform on command was your hidden strength the entire time. You were never broken. You were only readable. And now, finally, that single flaw is sealed shut for the rest of your life. Stand up inside yourself right now. Straighten the spine they spent years bending. The throne was always yours. You just stopped kneeling beside it. From this height, look back at the maze they kept you running. See how small it was. See how long you mistook it for the whole world. You will not go back into the maze. You have seen the exit, and the exit was never a door. The exit was becoming unpredictable. So here you stand, unreadable, unowned, ungoverned, and finally, completely awake. The question now is only what you will do with it. I am not going to ask you to subscribe. Asking is for people who need your permission. I am simply going to tell you what this is. This channel is the room where the predictable man comes to die, and the ungovernable one is forged. You already know which one you are becoming. If these words reached something real in you, then subscribing is not a favor to me. It is a decision you make about who you intend to be. Make it the way you will now make every choice, deliberately, on your own terms, because you decided, and not because anyone told you to. Now answer me this in the comments, and answer honestly. Who in your life only ever loved the version of you they could predict?